guys, it's Becca. So today I'm giving you tips on how not to get arrested or to stay out of jail and prison. So this will hopefully be useful. I would memorize the things that I'm about to give you because it will probably save your ass. This is my 6th video on December 4th, I believe is the date that I have not memorized because I don't care enough. So hope you enjoy. Okay guys, so I can't stress enough to you to know your rights. Now, I'm going to give you 2 of the most important, in my opinion, that will probably help you not, get arrested. But I would know them all, or at least most of them. The civil rights would be a good ones to start with. But know them. Like your 4th and 5th, which are the ones I'm going to be showing you and teaching you, will probably help you the most with cops. Your Miranda rights, know that, understand that, because I know that confused me for the longest time. I did not understand Miranda rights. But know it will help, trust me. Your 4th Amendment right states that you can be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects against all unreasonable searches and seizures, which is very useful against cops trying to search you without a warrant or probable cause. Now, your 4th Amendment right pretty much means no cop can search you without a warrant, probable cause, or your consent. Nor can they search your house, your car, your papers, pretty much anything of yours. They cannot search. Now, if it's out, they can look at it. That's not against the rules. Whatever they see, they can use. So be careful with that, but they cannot search you. Now, they have to give you probable cause. Ask them what it is. Okay, so your 5th Amendment right pretty much states that you do not have to answer discriminating questions. Now, cops' favorite tactics are intimidation. If you've ever noticed when a cop is arresting someone, they're leaning in, or if you're being pulled over, they'll lean on your car, blocking your window. That is an intimidation tactic, and they will ask you questions, probing questions. They will not directly ask you if you did something, but they will ask you probing questions. Now, those probing questions you can politely refuse to answer. If a cop asks you, have you been drinking tonight? Now, I'm sorry, but if you've been drinking tonight, you're not going to be smart enough to remember this. But if you haven't been, or you're a little buzzed, you probably will. You can politely tell him that you cannot answer that question. Respectfully say, officer, I cannot answer that. Or refusal to answer pretty much basically anything. Just say sir and ma'am a lot. Sorry. Things like that. Be polite about it. Okay, one of the most important things you should know is when a cop is reading your Miranda rights, you're under arrest. There is no going back. They are hauling your butt into a police car. You are going to jail. Sorry. Before that happens, ask questions, and a lot of them. Ask if you're under arrest. If they say no, ask if you're free to leave. If they say yes, ask if you're required to show ID. If they say no, ask what the legal searches are. Now, usually, if they say no to all of the above, the searches, the answer for his questions for searches is eyesight and consensual, which means he has no probable cause at all, he or she. It's just how cops work. Okay, so if a cop pulls you over and you ask if you're under arrest, and they say no, and if you ask if you're free to leave, and they also say no, you're not free to leave, and then you ask them if you have to show ID. Now, certain states, it's legal for you to not have to show ID. So some states, the cop will answer no, and some states the cops will answer yes. The state I live in, you have to show ID, no matter what. ask after that if the search is legal. It will either be frisk, consensual, or eyesight. Frisk meaning they can take a frisk look around. It's nothing big, it's not a cavity search or anything. This means they have probable cause. They have something on you. They're doing an investigation. I'd be very careful and I would tread lightly. Be very polite. If you're being pulled over, hide things that would draw attention. Just hide them, move them under the seat. They cannot search your car yet, okay, at all. And do not give them consent to do that if you have anything. Same with houses. Don't let them do that. Cops love using intimidation. So if they ask you to step out of the car, ask if it's a request or ask if it's an order. Because if it's a request, politely refuse him. Also, if a cop is pulling you over, crack the window. Do not open it fully. It gives them a full view of the car. Crack it lightly. Now, if they ask you to roll it all the way down, do so. But don't unless they ask. It's very useful if you have something illegal in your car. Okay, another thing I've stated before is always ask if it's a request or an order. This is very important because cops like to tell you to do something and they'll make it sound like an order when it's really a request, like get out of the car. Now, sometimes, like speeding after robbery, they tell you to get out of the car, it's an order. I wouldn't be very smart to ask, but be my guest. But if you're being pulled over and they ask you to get out of the car, or they tell you to get out of the car, ask if it's a request or ask if it's an order. Same with a house. If they ask you to step outside, ask if it's an order or ask if it's a request. Because they cannot enter your home to arrest you without probable cause or a warrant or consent. They cannot come into your home. If a minor is at home and a cop steps into that home, it's illegal. So if your child is at home and you are not, and the cops knock on your door and the child is there, even if the cops have a warrant, a legal adult has to be there, depending on the state you live in. You'll have to search these rules per state. I live in Missouri. Now, I didn't do a lot of research on this, but my dad was a security guard he's a security guard now. He worked for UMKC Police Department, and my mom took education classes that made her take a law course, meaning I have a lot of info on this, but they cannot legally enter your home if a child is present, whether that child allows them to come in or not. That child does not legally own the home. They are not on the lease, and if they are, they're below the official owner. They cannot come in, nor can they come in with a warrant. Someone has to be here. Warrants are a little tricky because sometimes the judge states on there that the person who owns whatever they're searching does not have to be present. Now that's a little different from what I stated before with the minor. The minor will be asked probably to leave the house, but they can come in. The warrant does not, depending on what the warrant says, some cops can come in. Be careful with warrants and always read them thoroughly. Do not skip anything in a warrant because that is your rights. And if cops think you didn't read it and it says they can search this, and this room and they're searching the whole house, you can file complaints and any evidence they find in your home is instantly thrown out of court. It cannot be used. They violated your rights. Last but not least, any encounter with a cop, whether you're witnessing a cop pulling someone over or arresting someone else, or if they're pulling you over or questioning you, you can record it. Now, if a cop tells you to stop or breaks your camera, that is a violation of rights. Now, if it's in their way of an investigation, you cannot do it. They will normally tell you, ask them why. But do not ever get violent with a cop. If a cop breaks your camera, like if you're recording your encounter with a cop and they break your camera, report it to someone. Do not get violent. Step back. Let them go on doing what they're doing. Pull out another camera if you have one. The more they break, the more likely they get fired. And trust me, if a cop is breaking your rights, you want them out of the police station, and you want them out now. Now that's it for my tips of how to stay out of jail, how not to get arrested, not getting arrested. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, show me what you think. Tell me what my next video should be. I'm thinking about doing how to get away with murder, because if we do how not to get arrested, we have to get it.